My name is Michael Nesfasil. Today I'm interviewing James Allen Grissom on the 6th of June 2022 at his home in Burleson, Texas. This interview is being conducted for the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress. So, James, tell us your first, middle, and last name, please.
James Allen Grissom.
And your date of birth?
March 6, 1940.
And who were your parents and what were their occupations?
My dad's name was Romy Grissom, and he was a pressman for a gospel music printing company.
Okay.
My mom's name is Mary Corrine, and she wanted to stay home until I at least got into elementary school. So she was a stay-home mom, and then she went to work for the school district in the kitchen, prepared meals for the kids, so that when school was out, she could go home with me. So she was a wonderful, wonderful lady.
Yes. Do you have any siblings? Your names and brothers, sisters, and did they ever serve in the military?
I have one daughter. Her name is Amy K. Grissom. She never did serve in the military, and she has one son. His name is Alex.
Okay. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
No, I'm an only child.
Okay. Did your family have any feelings in particular about you joining the service?
My decision was mostly my own, and they did not object, as some parents did.
Okay. Primary and secondary schools. You graduated high school?
I graduated high school, went to North Texas State University for one semester, and then I went to University of Texas at Arlington for one semester.
Okay, what high school did you graduate from?
I graduated from Sunset High School. Go Bisons.
Okay, and that's in
Dallas.
Oh, it's in Dallas. Okay, and what year was that?
That was 1958.
Okay. Did you hold any jobs before you entered the service?
Oh, I held several jobs. First job out of high school was at a steel plating plant, and we did plating of metals to keep it from rusting, and we also did, I forget what they call that now, but it's where you color the copper roofs, and then we did copper for bell towers in churches. And I was a junior in high school at that time, and they found out that I had a commercial driver's license, so they got me out of working with all the acids and everything that it took, and put me in the truck driving and delivering. And then my next job was with Frito-Lay, making Fritos and potato chips. And that was a summertime job. And then I went to work for Brooke May's Music Company in Dallas and worked there for a year. And then I moved to Monroe, Louisiana, and went to work for a music store there. And then I went into the Army.
Okay. All right, so at this time, I'm going to basically turn it over to you if you want to start talking about, like, when you went into the military, were you drafted, were you enlisted, why did you join, just some reminiscing about, what happened when and where and why.
Okay, and let me back up. In 1960, I got married, and I became very overweight, out of shape, and it ended up in a divorce, and I was classified 4F, and I lost a lot of weight, and then it came back around for another physical, and I was reclassified, and during the meantime, a real dear friend of mine that I had worked with in Dallas at the music store, purchased a music store in Louisiana and said, "Hey, I want you to come to work for me." I said, "Okay, fine." I said, "We may have a problem with the draft." And at that time, I was 26 years old. And he says, "Well, there's a gentleman here that's an officer in the reserve." And he says, "I'll get with him." And turns out there was a vacancy in the reserve unit, was there in Monroe in 95th Division. So I went and enlisted, passed the physical, was accepted, and he wasn't quite ready for me to come to work for him because he was still getting things straightened out from the purchase of the music company. So we had basic training coming up, so I went ahead and enlisted and went to basic training. And when I came back, everything was go for hiring me.